Another mouse that you guys recommended that we review, the Darmoshark m3s Mini. Last time you guys asked us to review a mouse, it didn't go too well. So let's see if this one got any better. We've already reviewed a mouse by Darmoshark and we deemed it basically to be a great mouse with a terrible shape. It was flat on all sides and way too big for most people unless you were constantly palm gripping and had hands the size of an ogre. Not to mention the added accessories were somewhat lacking. So how well does the Darmoshark m3s Mini compare? Well, for one, the unboxing experience. This thing's amazing. I mean, it's almost like an absolute piece of art. There's detail all around the box, even on the backside. A cool sort of graffiti design across the whole box. And it's also very solid too, so I'd actually say that this has been the best unboxing experience we've had of any mouse yet. Obviously, boxes are somewhat secondary to what comes inside of them. This came with the exact same cable as the Ajaz AJ199, and if you know how I feel about that already, well, it's a very good thing. It's incredibly flexible, and honestly, this one seems to not fray as much, which is an additional positive too. Not to mention it also came with some additional mouse feet, the receiver, and get this, a free 2K receiver dongle for the mouse. So let's put that into perspective. This mouse actually only cost us £40 and it came with a 2K receiver, which usually, by any other mouse's standards, you would have to buy separately for an additional £15. So as far as value for money goes, if you're looking for a high pulling rate mouse, so far this is unbeaten. Now getting down to the main problem of the original Darmoshark M3. The shape was horrible. In fact, let me grab it for a second. It's flat on basically all sides, making it really hard to lift off of the desk. In fact, when you try to, sometimes it slightly slips out of your hand. Not to mention also its size was just way too large for most people. The M3s Mini, on the other hand, kind of sounds deceiving. Yes, it is a smaller version of the mouse, and it does look similar, but the shape actually feels entirely different and it's really not that small. If we compare it, for example, to a G305, it's actually larger. But all of the shape differences between this and the Darmoshark M3 are all very positive. This has a lot more curvature, a lot more slope on the side, making it a lot easier to lift off your desk and also feel a lot more stable in your hands. One thing that's quite strange actually about this mouse in comparison to the Darmoshark M3 is that it actually weighs the same amount, 62 grams. They made the mouse a significant chunk smaller, yet it still weighs the same. Did they use that weight to improve the quality in some way? And I'd say they did. This doesn't have really any issues in durability at all. I'm really trying to push down on this mouse right now and there's nothing. With the original Darmoshark M3, if you pushed really hard, you'd actually get the side buttons to click in. With this, there is none of that going on. And as far as options for this mouse, that's a lot more interesting actually than the original Darmoshark M3. This comes in a load of colors, and as you can see, we got it in a very hot red. We decided to change it up this time because we've never had a red mouse in the studio before, and hey, why not try it out? And I think it looks really good. Another thing that this thing borrows from the original Darmoshark M3, which was my favorite feature, and I would be using that mouse if it wasn't for the horrible shape, because of this feature, is the bottom has so many controls. You have DPI switch, anywhere between 125 Hz pulling rate all the way up to 2K, meaning you don't need software to adjust your pulling rate, unlike the Dragonfly. It's Chinese software and it's not particularly great. DPI switch on the bottom as well, and also it has a Bluetooth mode, so that you can pair this mouse with, for example, some other laptops that have less I/O ports, like a MacBook if you needed to, which actually I've been using. A mouse that needs no software is plug and play with a 2K Hz pulling rate receiver straight out of the box, £40, making it slightly cheaper than the Dragonfly as well, with a slightly smaller shape. This thing really has no objective negatives. I would say I prefer the shape of the Dragonfly more, but also it costs a good chunk more at £60 over 40, so I would say this is a very, very valid choice. And if you're looking to pick up this incredible mouse, you can actually grab it from the affiliate link in the description below, which will support the channel while also saving you the trouble of looking for the mouse.